The Nigerian Senate just proposed a bill that could make you lose your Nigerian passport for 10 years if you are convicted of a crime abroad and deported. Senator Bello Abubakar was the one that sponsored the bill, and he said they are doing this to protect the image of our country. But here's the thing. That will not fix Nigeria's image. It will only expose how disconnected our lawmakers are from the real problem. Because even if it passes, it will fail spectacularly. And the people who will pay the price are not the so-called criminals abroad, but ordinary Nigerians at home. Do you remember when they said they just deported some Nigerians from Libya back to Nigeria? There usually is a spike in armed robbery, and people will start blaming the deportees from Libya. But they are broken, stranded, hopeless, nothing for them. That's what exactly this passport ban will create. More danger at home in the name of protecting our image abroad. Because you don't have any plans for them back home. You just want to seize their passport and make sure they don't go anywhere. The law sounds noble to protect the country's image, right? And there are many people that are saying, yes, this is the right move. We need a law like this to teach people a lesson if they choose to disgrace our country abroad. And lots of senators have come to give their take about this bill. And we'll talk about what Senator Ned Nwoko said about this bill later. But the truth is, most of the crimes damaging Nigeria's reputations don't happen abroad. They happen right inside Nigeria, online. Look at the crimes that Nigerians are accused of. It's mostly fraud, romance scam, cybercrime. These guys don't need a passport. They need Wi-Fi, a laptop, or a device that can connect to the internet.
Create a fake transaction to make it look like I really sent her some Bitcoin. But when she goes to retrieve her Bitcoin with my unique URL, I'm able to snag her IP address, her GPS coordinates, and a picture of her through her webcam. And as you can see, it's not a her, it's a he. And he's in Nigeria of all places.
That is why I call this an analog law in a digital world. They are writing laws on paper while crime happens in the cloud. And the truth is, dual citizens will walk free. So this bill only punishes Nigerians with one passport. The rich and the well-connected, they will still travel, do business, move on. If you don't want this to become a double standard thing, it should not be based on who has one passport or two. The only thing you can do to people with two passports is refuse them visa from coming into Nigeria. You can't stop them from traveling the world if they have a second passport. You cannot seize their other passport. You can only seize your Nigerian passport, which is rightly the government's property, even though we pay lots of money to get it. The case of the Oba that was convicted in the US for fraud during COVID. If you look at his case, what they're saying is go to jail, pay restitution, and nobody is saying anything about stripping him of his American citizenship. But with this kind of law, if he finishes his sentence, come back home and they collect his passport, his Nigerian passport from him, will that stop him from traveling? Even if your crime is not a deportable one, this law could still catch up with you. Because the words they use, convicted and deported, convicted of crimes abroad, is so vague that it could apply to anyone with any conviction abroad. Which means even if your host country do not deport you for a crime, maybe it's not a serious crime, but you had a conviction, Nigeria could still come for your passport when you go to renew it. Not every conviction leads to deportation. Some will finish their sentence abroad and return home, broke, rejected, and desperate. Now imagine seizing their passport for 10 years. They become undocumented and eventually face deportation. They can't walk abroad. They can't renew visas. They can't move forward. You've trapped them in Nigeria with no future, only survival. And desperation always finds a way. Yesterday, Senator Ned Nwoko went on record with a statement about this passport seizure, and his statement perfectly sums up the problem. He said Nigeria Immigration Service should stop desperate Nigerians from embarking on dangerous journeys that bring disrepute to the nation. I was reading what he said and I could not just help but feel like, these guys, what world are you guys in? In his words, he said, the reason many Nigerians end up in foreign prisons lies in the failures of our embassies to do due diligence on those traveling abroad. Some travel because they are desperate to make money by enemies. Think about that. Instead of asking why citizens feel desperate enough to risk everything, the instinct is to monitor, restrict, and label them, as if controlling movement will restore integrity. This is exactly the mindset behind the passport ban, a belief that Nigeria's image can be managed by surveillance and punishment, not by reform and opportunity. Nigeria's problem has never been a lack of punishment. It's lack of justice. The people damaging Nigeria's image are not the random Nigerians abroad. They are the powerful ones at home. You can't fix your image when your mirror is cracked. Real nations, serious nations, they fix rot from the top, not by tightening rules at the bottom. If we really want to protect Nigerians' name, we should start by cleaning up corruption and accountability where it matters most. This is not the first time Nigeria is trying to do an image cleanup. During the time of Professor Dora Akuyele, she tried to help our image with that slogan, "Good people, great nation." Bless her. But that did not work because slogans don't fix what policies refuse to fix. On paper, this looks like an effort to protect our image. But think about it. This law gives the government power to decide who gets to belong and when. Today is Nigerians convicted abroad. Tomorrow, who knows? And it's ironic because these same lawmakers once begged the UK to show mercy to Ike Ekweremadu, a former deputy Senate president convicted of organ trafficking abroad. And before that, we saw how the former governor of Delta State, James Ibori, returned from a UK prison to a hero's welcome. And there are sitting lawmakers that have been accused of serious crimes in the US. So will this law apply to people like them, or only to nurses, students, and delivery drivers, the ordinary Nigerians abroad, the ones without friends in Abuja? If this bill ever becomes law, it will be one of a kind, because most serious countries only restrict or revoke passports for national security reasons or for treason, mostly with naturalized citizens. But doing it to protect a country's image, that's unheard of. This is not looking like discipline. It's just looking like we're confusing punishment with progress. And there's the issue of execution. The time and resources they will spend on tracking the convictions of Nigerian citizens across various foreign judicial systems is going to be a lot. If they could use the resources for this to track and bring back home Nigerians that are trafficked and stranded abroad, that would be more useful. Otherwise, this whole thing is just going to be a big, fat, white elephant project. Let me know what you think in the comments. Because of a few bad players abroad. Yes, I said a few bad players because most of these crimes that gives Nigeria a bad reputation are committed right there in Nigeria, like we already established. And we're not even talking about corrupt politicians yet and human rights abuse. So because of these few bad players, you have painted your citizens abroad as potential image risk, confirming to the world that Nigeria truly has a serious problem with criminal citizens abroad. This law will not stop crime or fix our reputation. It will punish the powerless, protect the privileged, and distract from what truly needs fixing. You cannot build a nation's image by seizing passports. You can seize passport, but you cannot force other nations to respect you if you haven't earned the respect. Only by fixing what broke the people in the first place, that's how you can rebuild your nation's image. And until then, every passport ban will just be another headline that makes the world shake his head and say, oh, there they go again. So what do you think? Should a government that protects the powerful have the moral right to punish the powerless in the name of national image? Because maybe, just maybe, it's not Nigerians abroad who need rebranding. It's Nigeria itself. As a Nigerian abroad, even if you've never had a problem with the law before, this still concerns you. Because one conviction abroad, whether wrongful conviction or whatever, your passport is gone for 10 whole years. And if you do not have a second passport yet, that's going to put you in a very tight situation. This bill has passed its second reading in the Senate, but it still has a long way to go before it becomes law. We need to keep our eyes on this bill because along the way, things can be added or removed quietly. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.